But I've come to the realization that in expansion years, it's just never going to be like that. And that's going to be bumpy, and it's going to be up and down, and you're going to have your best player that can't play, and you're going to have a red card on the first game of the season, and you're going to go 2-0 up at home and lose 3-2, and we got to embrace that. Yeah, we got to chase the model, and we got to chase the idea, and we got to chase the culture, but at the same time, we've got to embrace the chaos.
18 shots to 12, 32 touches in the box, 221, 2.09 expected goals to 1.01. Not talking about Denver's numbers for once. Utah won all of that, but Denver won the game. And here's the number that I just can't get past. Utah put 3 of their 18 shots on target. 3. For 5 months, this team has done the opposite. We've won the numbers, but lost the match. Saturday night, they lost the numbers in basically every category a coach puts on the chalkboard or the whiteboard, and walked off with 3 points because Captain Janine Sonis hit a free kick in the 4th minute of stoppage time. And that clip that you just heard from head coach Nick Cushing, that was the head coach rewriting his entire operating system in August. And I don't think that Saturday was luck. I think it was a coach who finally stopped waiting for his model to pay him. Welcome back to the 5280 Pitch, Women's Soccer at Altitude. I'm Kate Hanson, and if this is your first time here, thank you so much for tuning in. What a week we had with 3 games in 1 week at Centennial Stadium. I don't know what I'm going to do with all my free time this time. How am I going to fill these 6 days between matches? Because it was a blast having so much Denver Summit in action. But at the same time, I'm sure that they're ready for their break. In fact, Brazier said in the postgame presser that they are so excited to have a couple days of rest after a super busy week. Saturday night at Centennial Stadium, it was the second leg of the Continental Divide rivalry. Denver Summit beat Utah Royals 2-1 in stoppage time on that free kick from the captain. And today, I want to talk about why that result looked nothing like the rest of the season. What Nick Cushing said afterward that I think is the most honest thing that he has said all year. An Abby Smith performance that the box score really fails to capture. A yellow card that makes 0 sense. And one substitution pattern that tells you exactly what Nick Cushing was thinking. And then we're going to talk about what's coming up. Friday, San Diego, a team that is somehow both 4th in the table and one of the worst finishing teams in this league. So let's talk about the table because we're getting close, folks. We are sitting at 10th in the table right now, just on the outside looking in. Denver came in having gone 3 matches without a win, 2 home games earlier that same week. Both those games were not our best. 1 point out of 6 possible. 3rd game, 6 days. Lindsay Heaps missing her 2nd straight match with that knee injury. And the opponent was the toughest that we had on the docket for that 3-game homestand. Utah was sitting 3rd compared to our other 2 opponents who were sitting a little bit lower in the table standings. So it was our toughest matchup. Like I said, they were sitting 3rd on the table, and they are the highest scoring team in the league. So what did Nick Cushing do? He changed up 3 of his starters. And on Saturday, we saw Una McCormick, Natalie Means, and Brazier get their starts. If you listened to the Friday episode, I said, I want to see what happens with 60-plus minutes of Brazier, and we got it on Saturday night. So that was exciting to see. So for Una, this was her 6th start of the season and her first start since May 3rd against Boston. For Brazier, it is her first start since the 12th of July against Houston, means she started just last Sunday. Those 3 starting was not tinkering. That was a coach looking at what the numbers had been telling him and deciding, well, the heck with the numbers. That's not going to save this team. The first half of the match was the same first half that we watched 3 times in 6 days. Denver had the ball, built out of the back, got into decent areas, and then the crosses in the corners went absolutely nowhere. Utah had the 2 best looks of the half, both on the counter. I do have to say, the team looked like they had a spark lit underneath them in Saturday's game. On Wednesday's game, things looked flat. There was poor passing. It felt like everyone was trying to be the hero. On Saturday's game, there is just an energy that comes when Allie Brazier takes the field. And the team looked like they were coming out and were ready to go toe-to-toe with the 3rd best team in the league. 6 minutes into the second half, they finally got it. Devin Lynch does a really nice piece of work at the top of the box to keep possession alive, and she finds Janine Sonis. Janine crosses back post. Yaz Ryan takes 1 touch to bring it down, half volleys it into the far corner, point blank, 52nd minute. That was the open field scoring drought coming to a close. You could feel a collective sigh of relief from the entire building. That was Yaz's 4th goal on the season, first since the 13th of July against Houston, and her 2nd goal against Utah this year. Then Denver defended for 40 minutes. Ava Gaetino with a huge block, Io Ake and Janine Sonis winning the ball back over and over and clearing their lines. Brazier had a breakaway one-on-one from a tough angle in the 81st that Mandy McGlynn saved really well. And then the 89th minute happened. Utah switched the play, ball drops at the top of the box. Kaleigh Kurtz heads it up and behind instead of away. And unfortunately, Tatum Milazzo takes it down and half volleys it into the upper 90. Fortunately, no one's saving that one. Abby Smith, which we will get to in a minute, she had a lights out game. Nobody could stop that one. And that was at the very end of the game. It felt like, oh no, here we go again, where we are so close to getting 3 and we lose it in the final minutes of the game. But there was 8 minutes of stoppage time. And then Yaz Ryan gets fouled at the top of the box, just outside of the box. And in that 4th minute of stoppage time, Janine Sonis comes in, puts it over the wall and into the corner, 2-1. And the pure joy, if you watch this, go ahead and watch. If you're watching on YouTube, watch Olivia Thomas, watch Tosh Flint after that ball goes into the back of the net. That is a team that has been working so hard. See that their hard work is starting to pay off. And the numbers, you know me and my numbers, the numbers said Denver lost that game. But in this episode, I want to just sit here for a minute. Utah outshot Denver 18-12. 32 touches in Denver's box to 21. More possession, more tackles, more interceptions, more clearances. They won more duels. And by expected goals, it wasn't even close. 2.09 to 1.01. Utah more than doubled Denver's expected goals. Now flip it. Expected goals on target. Utah put 3 of 18 on frame. 16.7% shot accuracy. And those 3 shots added up to 0.91. Denver put 6 of 12 on frame. 50%, 1.56. Now, if you guys saw last Friday's episode, I had it titled 17 shots, 0 chances. Completely flipped the script between Wednesday's match and Saturday's match. Utah created chances worth 2.09 and delivered 0.91 to the goalkeeper. Denver created chances worth 1.01 and delivered 1.56. Utah generated that game. They controlled the game. Denver finished it. Yaz Ryan, by herself, was worth 0.41 expected goals and 1.02 expected goals on target. One player outfinished her own chance quality by more than the entire Utah team did. Now, is that repeatable? No, you cannot build a season on outshooting your own chance quality. But it is a completely legitimate way to win a soccer match. And this club had not been doing that. Which brings me back to the clip that I shared when I opened the episode. Nick Cushing came into this job with a model. He said it 100 times. Keep your expected goals above theirs. Aim for 0 on the opposition's number. Do that consistently, and the wins arrive. It's a good philosophy. It's how he won 6 trophies at Manchester City. The problem is, Denver have been winning that argument for months and losing anyway. And on Saturday, he sat in that post-game press conference and he said out loud that expansion years don't work like that. And that it's going to be bumpy, that your best player won't be available and you'll take a red card in the first game of the season and you'll go up 2-0 at home and lose 3-2, and that you just have to sit and embrace it. And I didn't hear that as Nick lowering the bar or lowering the standard of the Denver Summit. I heard it a different way. He set the bar for the process. And the process has been fine. But the 11 he can put on the field on the 3rd game in 6 days with his best player hurt and 3 rookies starting cannot execute that model every week. And it's not a coaching failure. It's an expansion roster in month 5. With this lineup change that he did with Ali starting up top, Una, Natalie, seeing Devin, those 3 rookies, and going to Denver's first signing, Ali Brazier, who's been seeing a lot of action from the bench, seeing her get her start, I saw that as a coach saying, the numbers aren't backing up wins. What if I changed it? And by changing out those 3 starters, he also changed the corner kick taker in the middle of the match, something he said afterward that this club has never done before. He sat on the lead instead of chasing the perfect scoreline. And it got him 3 points against the 3rd place team. Of course, he's still frustrated though, and I want you to hear it because this isn't a man who's suddenly relaxed about anything.
Yeah, we needed to win. I actually think we need to win last week and the week before, but I suppose we had to win tonight to keep in the pack, to sort of pay back from the effort. I said to the team, I'm proud of the effort and I'm proud of the reaction that we show when we go 1-0 down. I'm just tired of going 1-0 down. So we spoke a lot this week about one of our sort of principles of the team is we talk a lot about next moment. You know, whatever happens, the next moment you got to react well to, whether it's a chance, a corner, a mistake, a goal, we spoke tonight about could we make the first moment ours and then see what the reaction was from there, because I've been so proud and so pleased with the reaction from going 1-0 down in the sense of pushing and pushing and pushing. Could we put the moment in our favour, which would give us a great springboard to work from?
Honestly, that's the whole tension in one sentence. I'm proud of the reaction we showed when we go down 1-0. I'm just tired of going down 1-0. He's built a group that responds. He'd like them to stop needing to respond. The March version of Nick Cushing wants 0 on the opposition's expected goals. The August version has a Nick Cushing that has accepted that this isn't happening and is coaching the team that he has. That is growth. It's also mildly terrifying because there are 12 games left and Denver are 1 point out. I said I wanted to talk about Abby Smith because Abby Smith's line from Saturday, 2 saves, 1 goal conceded, goals prevented of minus 0.09. If you read that, it seems like, oh, well, Abby was a non-factor in the game. That is completely wrong. And there is a good lesson why you can't just cover a goalkeeper by looking at the numbers on a spreadsheet or from that you get off of NWSL. First half, Utah played Cecilia Delzer in behind. She had a clean run at goal. Smith comes flying off her line, smothers the shot at the edge of the box, gets to her feet and plays the ball out herself. That's a goal prevented in the actual sense of those words. It doesn't show up in expected goals on target because the shot never became a real shot. It shows up nowhere except in the fact that the score stayed 0-0. The one that beat her Milazzo taking that bouncing ball down off the edge of the box and then half volleying it up into the top corner. I've watched it 4 times, and there's no version where Abby Smith can get there. Cushing said afterward that Denver went into this season carrying 2 number 1 goalkeepers on purpose because he knew that the goalkeeper was going to be the thing. A brand new team is going to give away chances. They started 3 rookies on Saturday night. Having a keeper who produces in big moments is what gives you a shot at 3 points at all. He said every game they've won, Abby Smith has played a major part in it. Now, she also got a yellow card. Yeah, Abby Smith got booked for time wasting as she was literally mid-stride winding up to restart play. Meanwhile, the Utah goalkeeper was burning clock badly enough that she eventually needed a visit from her trainer. And that wasn't the only random yellow card. There was one at the end of the first half where I thought we were going to get a PK. And because Kurtz appears to get taken down with her back to goal on a corner. And the foul goes the other way. Gaetino was called for a foul on McGlynn with a defender in between them. And Gaetino was not even jumping for the ball. The officiating was a mess in both directions, and it nearly cost Denver a point that they had very rightfully earned. I don't like spending a ton of time on poor officiating and refereeing. As I tell my daughters, that both teams have to play with the referees. You can't let that affect your game. But when your goalkeeper gets carded for the exact same thing that the other goalkeeper is doing in the open, I'll just say it once. The officiating was a mess. I didn't love the officiating. Neither did the fans. Twice on Saturday, the fans were super loud chanting VAR. We did not get that VAR. But I mean, it's something to be said with some of the officiating calls that have gone against the Denver Summit this season. And call me Homer, but officiating on Saturday was a mess. I will move on. We've got 8 goals from our co-captain, Janine Sonis. Janine scored the winner and assisted on that first goal in the match. That's 11 goal contributions this season. It is a career best. And she has played for 6 NWSL clubs, and she has never done this. The free kick was the first direct free kick goal in Denver Summit history. It's also only the 4th direct free kick goal in the entire NWSL this season. And it's the latest goal Denver has scored all year. Zoom out on the home form, and it gets sillier. Denver have scored in 4 of their last 5 at home. Sonis has contributed in all 4. 4 goals and 2 assists in those 4 games. I mean, if you're looking to find somebody that is 100% saying, all right, team hop on my back, it is Janine Sonis. If you want to buy a jersey with a player's name, nothing wrong with going after and finding that Janine Sonis jersey because she is carrying this team on her back. She is willing a Denver Summit playoff into existence in their inaugural season. Here's the part I love most. This club has been winning set pieces all homestand and doing nothing with them. The corner service has been bad. Balls sailing over everybody to the far side, over and over and over. They switched the taker mid-match Saturday because it was that bad. They needed a set piece goal. And the person who delivered it is a left back. In the post-game press conference, Brazier was asked how many times she's seen Janine Sonis make that kick in training.
A lot.
A lot.
Like a lot. No.
Every day.
I was a little nervous because it's usually on the other side of the 18 for her, but like you still have full faith in our captain like that. Like I just knew like she was gonna save us. Like it was just the best cinematic thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was seriously in tears on the sideline. So she deserved it. She worked so hard. She's such a great leader for us. So I just love for her to see her get her flowers.
And Cushing tied it straight back to the one thing he's been drilling into this group, what he calls that next moment mentality. He pointed out that after Denver's second goal against North Carolina, the very first thing Sonis did was come find him and start breaking down her own body shape on the play. And 3 days later, she wins the game with a free kick.
She is coming up with big plays for us, taking penalties, free kick at the end that we needed to go in because the game was in the balance. Our top goal scorer wears the captain's armband for the first half of the year and has had to step up again. I think the best part of Janine is when I talk about having a next moment mentality, she's got that in abundance. And I think that is what we have to have. So the first thing she comes to me after the second goal in North Carolina and says, my body shape, I did it. And I say, yeah, I agree, but we work at it. And then tonight she comes up with this. So that is the mentality that our team has to have. Individuals, collectively, we make mistakes, we give goals away. Let's just embrace it and play with no fear and go and attack teams. And I think that, coupled with the real progress we've made in performance and in our culture and our environment, I think gives us a hell of a chance.
Mistake, reset, next moment. He said that is the mentality the whole team needs to have. One more thing happened Saturday, and it got buried. Kaleigh Kurtz played her 150th career regular season game. She is now the first field player in league history to start every one of her first 150 appearances. The only players who'd ever done it before are goalkeepers. That's it. That record is going to stand for a very long time. If you have not listened to the episode with Kaleigh Kurtz from earlier this year, where she talks all about her background, her upbringing, go check it out. Kaleigh is an awesome human being. We are so fortunate to have her as a part of the Denver Summit. And again, I want to thank you, all of you, for tuning in every week, sharing, downloading, leaving your reviews. It means so much to me. I love helping the Denver Summit brand awareness grow. By you sharing the episode out, by you leaving those reviews, it helps the algorithms push out the show to more women's soccer fans. So thank you again for listening, reviewing, and being here every single week. I love sitting down with you. All right, back to the game. Allie Brazier hadn't started since the 12th of July. And she started on Saturday. And for long stretches, especially after halftime, she was the most alive player on that field. Cushing was asked about it and gave one of the more human answers I've heard from him. Every time I pick a team, it breaks my heart that Allie's not in it. The person who deserves it and the person who fits the plan are frequently not the same person. And her version is the part that I want every young player to hear. So parents, if you're listening to this, make sure you bring your kids into the room, because what Allie had to say is so perfect for every young athlete out there.
When you get your call up to start for the team, you know you have to do your job. And so that's a role I like to embrace. So I take it very serious. So I put 110% out there. Like, maybe I haven't been getting a lot of minutes, but like, I still stay ready for these moments and show up for my team. And I just know that they're rooting for me every sprint, every tackle, every play I have. So I think it's just like, I carry so much with me with this team. So I think that's what we all do with each other. We kind of do everything together. We really just make sure we are doing this all as one. So you don't feel so alone out there when you're making those runs or like 20 meters far or whatever, when I'm going after keepers or whatever. So I think it's just, you feel so much courage behind yourself and like your teammates, and they carry you so far. So I think you can see all the love after each goal and each play and just the encouragement. And then just to even have it here at home just carries so much more energy. Like, they don't think I can hear them, but I can hear them every time they're rooting for me, going for every run. So we're happy to finally get those 3 points in front of our fans. I think that's something that we really want to like make very vocal, because they keep showing up for us and we just want to keep showing up for them. So we just want to thank the fans.
Now, Allie didn't score. She had the breakaway in the 81st that McGlynn saved and a chance off of a Ryan ball that I'm sure she'd like back. She'll be the first to tell you that she should have finished at least one of those. But she gave Cushing exactly the thing that he put her into that starting lineup for. Now, the decision that I keep chewing on. Denver led from the 52nd minute. It's their third game in 6 days. There was a very rotated lineup. Nick Cushing made one substitution in the first 89 minutes. That was Tosh Flint coming on for Una McCormick in the 66th. One substitution, that's it. That's the whole in-game management until the 89th, when Yamamoto, Thomas, and Reagan all came on at once. And Natalie Means moved from left wing to right back, which is to say he didn't move until Milazzo had already equalized. And I've gone back and forth on this. On one hand, I agree. You have a team that is going toe-to-toe with the third-place team in the table. Don't touch it. We're winning. The shape was holding. Okay, Sonis, Gaetino, and Kurtz were all winning the recovery duels. You're one up, and the back line is coping. So fresh legs are as likely to break the rhythm as to protect it. On the other hand, 3 games in 6 days, legs that have played 270 minutes in under a week, and the goal came in the 89th minute off a switch that stretched a tired back line with Kurtz, who has played every minute of every game this season, heading a ball up and behind instead of away. That's, for those of you watching on YouTube, that's me heading it away. Would the subs have stopped it? Probably not. But if you're managing fatigue, the 89th minute is a little late to start. The 3 that came on in stoppage time, that's best understood as a chaos move. Bodies in under the box, fresh runners, roll the dice for 8 minutes of stoppage, and it worked. Well, sort of, in that Denver won it, but it wasn't the substitution that won it. I do think it was odd that we only saw that one sub of Tosh Flint until the 89th minute. Was that something that we've never seen before? Absolutely. But Saturday as a whole was very un-Nick Cushing characteristically. Now, for all of you that were watching, or maybe were there in attendance, I'm sure you saw that there were empty seats still. Despite it being a sellout crowd, there's still open seats for these games. Now, if you have tickets and you're trying to sell them, I understand it's real difficult to try and get rid of them because you can only sell them through the Denver Summit FC app. If you haven't been to a game yet, check out the Denver Summit FC app to buy your tickets. There are a lot of people that are looking to sell their tickets on the app. You can also check out the 14ers Discord. If you're not a member of the 14ers yet, what are you waiting for? Sign up. It is a great community of people who love the Denver Summit as much as you do. So there's no reason that there should be this many empty seats. Now, Saturday, I kind of get it because it was a late switch. Maybe you already had concert tickets or something that for Saturday evening instead of being able to go on Saturday during the day. So I get it. But let's get out there and fill those seats. Cushing, having just beaten the third place team, spent a good chunk of his post-game thanking the crowd. Said the club's best player is the 12,000 who come in every day.
Our fans are the best in the league, unrivaled. You see tonight, time change, night game, off the back of a loss, and you think we were top of the league, the way that our fans are behind us. And we really, really appreciate that. So we're going to continue to work at it, set plays, free kicks, try and convert chances, try and clean sheets and shutouts. But you know what? The group deserved the win after the last 4 games and just the effort and determination that they put in.
I do think that we need to fix the resale policy because people might be looking on StubHub. They might be looking, who knows? But for the only place for people to be able to resell their tickets is through the Denver Summit app. It makes it real tricky. I know that the demand is there. We had 63,000 at Empower. We just need to fix that resale market. Now, this is my favorite thing about Saturday, and it was something that a lot of people in the press room were talking about, but nobody has answers to. So Utah beat Denver 2-1 in May. Denver beat Utah 2-1 in August. That's the whole inaugural Continental Divide Cup rivalry. Aggregate points, tied. Aggregate score, tied. 2-2. Away goals, tied. Nobody won the very first Continental Divide Cup. So the supporters group apparently did not plan for this because I was checking the 14ers Discord. One of the press asked Rob Cohen himself what the tiebreaker was. Nobody had an answer. So I guess that leaves our inaugural year rivalry still up in the air. Tell me what you think. So up next is a road trip. Friday night, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Denver is going to be in San Diego. All right, I was going to just about drop an Anchorman quote, but it's not the greatest city ever built. Denver's the greatest city ever built. Denver at San Diego Wave. Now, where everybody stands, Denver has 23 points from 18. Goal difference is exactly 0. 24 scored, 24 conceded. We're sitting at 10th in the table. We're just on the outside looking in, folks. San Diego, on the other hand, is sitting at 4th. Now, here's why I think this matchup is way better for Denver than the table says. Well, one, whenever we place teams in the top 5, we show up and play amazing. Other than that, San Diego are 10.5 goals below their expected goals for the season. 10.5. Their expected goals says 34.79, and they have scored 24. So that's not a variance anymore. That is a pattern. They get into the box more than Denver. They shoot more. They put a higher share on target. They pass better, but they score fewer goals per match than Denver do. And when we just faced a team that was similar, yes, I'm talking about the Utah Royals, who we just saw on Saturday, we were able to stand our ground. Both teams have created 51 big chances this season, exactly the same number. Denver has converted 16 of them. San Diego has converted 13. Now we're facing a San Diego team who is struggling a little bit since the break as well. San Diego have won once in their last 5. They've been shut out in 3 of them. 2 of those games have been at home. So you have 2 teams whose results don't match their process, arriving from opposite directions. Denver create less and convert more. San Diego create more and convert less. Denver just won a game that they statistically lost, and San Diego have lost a stack of games that they have statistically won. Now, the part that Denver fans maybe don't want to remember, the first meeting was the 25th of April back at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in front of 16,000 fans. Denver were up 2-0 at halftime, and then the second half happened. San Diego scored 3 in 16 minutes. We're not going to get into that. That was a terrible memory in the past. We have grown and learned from it, and it's not going to happen again. So I'm just going to move on. But that team, they still remember what happened. And Cushing brought up that game unprompted on Saturday. He listed it as one of the things that an expansion year does to you. If you go up 2-0 at home and lose 3-2, he remembers that game. They all remember it. Now, Denver get 5 days off, which after 3 games in 6 days is the most valuable thing on that schedule. Heaps is still a question mark. I promise I will update you on the socials as soon as I know. So if you're not following me on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, I'm on those 3 every single day. Be sure to follow 5280pitch. I will update you as soon as I have more info on Lindsay Heaps. I'm going to be very curious with what the starting 11 looks like for the Denver Summit against San Diego. Do we see Allie Brazier start again? We've been seeing Nick Cushing trying to give Olivia Thomas, Melissa Kussler those chances to be that starting 9. The energy, the feel that we see when Allie Brazier takes the pitch is incredible. So I'm really curious to see who's in that starting 11 for the Denver Summit against the San Diego Wave. Does Natalie Means get another start? If Lindsay Heaps is out, who gets her spot? Is it Tosh Flint? Is it Una McCormick again? I think that the Denver Summit are able to keep that strong momentum. I see us getting a clean sheet and winning 1-0 in San Diego. That is my pick. Be sure to comment. Let me know what your pick for the match is, because Denver was the worst team on Saturday, and they won. Most of this season, they've been the better team on paper and lost. We have 12 games left, and we are 1 point out. Friday night, 8 o'clock in San Diego. That's it for today's show. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along, and leave a rating. That is the single biggest thing. More women's soccer coverage. And we need more fans on the Denver Summit train. So invite your friends. Tell them to listen. Tell them to tune in. Newsletter goes out every single week. Sign up for the newsletter at 5280pitch.com. Again, if you've signed up and you haven't seen it, I've been dropping some sweet new merch exclusive for the newsletter people. If you're not seeing it, your newsletter, check your spam. And if you want to support the show, the best way that you can support the show is checking out the merch. I try and create a lot of cool merch for you guys to show your women's soccer support. And you repping the 5280 pitch helps support the show. So thank you to everybody who is rocking the sweet 5280 pitch hat and merch around the games. I appreciate every single one of you. That's it for this week's episode. I'm Kate Hanson. This is the 5280 Pitch, women's soccer at altitude.